is one Kenya, one nation, one plan, one agenda. So therefore, we thought it wise. It is important to build capacities of our planners. And how do we do it? We have to take it down to the grassroots. And the grassroots we have started with is a county director of planning. At county level and at national level, we train them as trainer of trainers, so that to spill this training champions per village, with the village elder and the assistant chief, for us to train them on reporting. Your Excellency, we as a department, we are charged with monitoring and evaluation and reporting on all projects. That we use the existing we have the Ngao structure, we have the county structure, down up to grassroots. Why can't we use them, train them on data collection, so that we are able to report on implementation? Your Excellency, I also want to mention another gap, and a very serious one. If you look at our policies, things to do with procurement, we have an act, Procurement Act. If you look at finance, we have PFM Act. But if you look at planning, Your Excellency, does not have a policy. It does not have an act in one place. It is fragmented. You will find the Constitution, one article talks about planning. You will go to PFM, there is something on planning. You go to procurement, there is something in planning. To address this, have disjointed, fragmented planning, we have proposed to enact an act of parliament, or we have developed a bill and the policy on economic planning. So those are three key two areas. The last one is the systems. Because monitoring and evaluation in this age of AI, in this age of ICT, how do we do it effectively? Wacha niwaulize swali. The phone we used in 2012, is it still relevant in terms of its capacity and capability today? No. The system, Your Excellency, what we are using to monitor and report on very important projects is already outdated. It was put in place in 2016. So we need a new system. So as a department, we are doing an overhaul. Under the leadership of the CS, we are doing an overhaul of the system, so that we address the system, we address the policy, and we have champions at the grassroots. If we have the three, Your Excellency, and with your support, I am sure that we will be able to move forward. Quickly, we are also launching our annual progress report. Key highlights, just to show. Number one, in this annual progress report, looks at what we have done in MTP4. Bringing down the cost of living. The target was to bring inflation down to 5. In 2024, we brought it to 4.4. In 2024-25 financial year is 3.8. Creating jobs annually, that is what is in MTP4. It is 1.2 million jobs. But what we achieved is 848 according to the data we have. Achieving inclusive growth of about, the GDP should be about growth of 7.5, that was the target. Your Excellency, we are about 5.2, which is a positive direction. I know that I've taken much time, but I thought it is important, Your Excellency, Prime Cabinet Secretary, to starting with the State Department of Economic Planning, the directors, just to stand, if you are here, and all other staff that came from Nairobi, State Department of Economic Planning. Thank you. Wengine wako paka huko, asanteni. Thank you. I also want to recognize the local leadership, members of parliament, and I want, with your permission, to allow one of them to come over here for a few minutes because of Mheshimiwa 2 or 3 minutes.
Thank you very much, our guest of honor in this occasion, the Prime Cabinet Secretary, Dr. Musalia Mudavadi, the Cabinet Secretary in charge of the Treasury, the Governor, Deputy Governor present, the members of Parliament. I want to take this chance because we are few. With your permission, just to mention the name, and then I will talk. Let me request my colleagues to come over so that they just mention their names, their constituencies, because you know we are politicians. Yes. Okay, now we have the Honorable Wanjala from Budalangi, the Honorable Geoffrey Mulanya from Nambale, and since there's only one lady, you will allow me to call her just for her sound, because it's beauty. Karibu, the Honorable Omanyo, a County MP, Busia.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am so happy that a vision like this was long overdue. I've been listening to the PS, and I've realized that actually accountants in your departments have been paying ghost projects, because if the young people will be involved in making sure that any project launched, they are the ones reporting right from reconnaissance visits to all over up to where the project is done. Then it will cut out a lot of projects that have been paid but they were in the briefcase. So I applaud the CS, our Prime Cabinet Minister, and the PS Economic Planning. Actually, we support this and we want it to be rolled out as soon as possible. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you very much. Our honorable guest today, on behalf of my colleagues, the members of Parliament, I want first of all to welcome you to Busia County. We want to say that as Busia County we work as a team, and we have a lot of collaboration among us. But what is more important, especially for this particular occasion, is the fact that you chose to have this event in Busia. We are so grateful for that because it's an important step and it's the first one of its own. So we want to say that in terms of planning, this initiative is very important because it's coming up with a bill which we as members of parliament would be expecting to support you to pass it, because it will help to integrate and to ensure there is coordination between our planning at the county level and the national government. That gap is important to bridge because then we are actually working for the same development and for the same people. Secondly, in terms of the various plans that have been undertaken since independence, I want to mention on behalf of my colleagues that Busia County has still a big gap in terms of development. And more so, the poverty index, Busia County is one of the poorest counties given the recent figures released. And we cannot remain that way. The only thing is that there should be affirmative action, and we request that the government of Our Excellency the President William Ruto, through you, be able to take affirmative action for Busia County on various areas. One of the areas when we are doing economic planning is empowerment on the area of agriculture. And I want to say that this county does not have a strong foundation in terms of the cash crop that gives people money. Cotton, which for a long time was a backbone, failed. And I think most of the ginaries we have about 7 ginaries. We have Mulwanda, we have Nambale, we have Amukura, we have a ginary at Malakisi, at Katakwa. All these ginaries died. If we can revive them as part of this plan, we'll empower the people of Busia. I also want to touch on the issue of power. We still have a big gap in terms of power supply. Busia is one of those counties that power disappears every minute because we lack substations or stations where we have enough power to stabilize power. So we wish that in this plan, even as we go forward, we emphasize on power supply in Busia County. Lastly, I want to emphasize that we have a big problem on health. The health sector is in a dilapidated state everywhere in this county. Now, the thing is, though it is devolved, there's a section, and I think affirmative action is required from the national government to ensure that we put in infrastructure. The counties alone cannot manage. So because of that, it is important when we talk of health of the people is a key thing. So it is important that this particular vision that is being launched, especially on the training through the grassroots, will be able to bring about a change. We are grateful that you are able to bring it here, and I know the participants who are here are from various parts of the country. So we are grateful that we are starting it here. Let us emphasize it, and I think our guest of honor told that at one time we had the DDCs, which was really the bottom-up planning. But then which was launched by the State Department, I think will go a long way but we need a lot of sensitization from the leadership at the grassroots level, our county assemblies, and the members of parliament, and even at the Ngao level, so that we know how we can collaborate to ensure put more on that area. So I want to thank you, and I want to end by saying you are most welcome again, and thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you very much, Mheshimiwa Karibu sana, Asante. I want to take this opportunity to, with your permission, Excellency, to invite the county leadership. With us here is the Deputy Governor. Please give him a round of applause as he comes on the stage. Karibu sana.
Our guest of honor, Your Excellency Musalia Mudavadi, who is our Prime Cabinet Secretary, CS for Treasury, FCPA John Badi, wabunge walioko hapa, serikali kuu kiongozwa na County Commissioner, viongozi wote hamjambo. Your Excellency, permit me for a second. We have a lot of hosts here who have come to welcome you and to welcome this program. I have the Speaker of the County Assembly. He's here with us. If you could stand, Speaker. There's a Deputy Speaker. We have our Majority Leader. And then we have our members of County Assembly. If you could kindly stand for recognition. It would have been nice to have you all speak, but because of time we can't. Thank you very much. Your Excellency, on behalf of the Governor of this county, I want to welcome you. Tuseme karibu, karibu, karibu nyumbani. FCPA John Badi karibu, and Planning PS Dr. Makoha, thank you very much. Thank you for bringing this program to Busia. We are very happy to host, and we are very happy to work with the government to make sure that it succeeds in a big way. Your Excellency, one hopes, if one was to think about the challenges we have with planning, we need more skills to be able to plan better. We need more accurate data to be able to plan better. We need more skills at the lower levels so that counties can plan. But at the end of the day, we need plans that are meaningful, can be consumed even by people who are not economists, and are translatable into action. This country has very many good plans sitting on shelves. So translatability for us, if we can make that easier, if we can make that more possible, if we can make more of us down the chain able to understand the plans, we don't need to be economists because we are capable of implementing plans that are simple. One of the greatest writers, Tim Stewart, once said, the role of great leaders is to simplify. I want to be brief, Your Excellency, and I want to be pointed about addressing the CS Treasury. Busia is a unique county. Unique in the sense that we sit at the border. Unique also in the sense that we house the second largest port called Malaba and another very big port called Busia. By virtue of that, and by virtue of our geography, we serve a lot of people in many different ways, be it infrastructure, be it health. We serve a lot of people who are not Kenyan, many of whom don't even have IDs. But because we believe in the East African unity, we serve them. We hold East African passports, so we are citizens of East Africa. We serve them, sometimes at a cost that is not cared for in the shareable revenue. And I can only compare ourselves to Migori because it's not just being on the border, but it's also the level of interaction with a neighboring country. We have a porous border. We have a county where on both sides of the border it's the same community, so the interaction levels are very high. 2 ports, and to give you a hint of it, when we had COVID, Your Excellency, 84% when we had mpox, when Musalia in the year, Busia was the leading mpox county. Only by virtue of the fact that we house these 2 ports. Mombasa took over from us many months into it. That asks for resources. Is we be given consideration because the population we serve, between 20 and 30% are not people who are factored into our census numbers. And therefore we need to have special consideration. I said we can go to Migori, the other border counties. While we are not going to turn away those who are our neighbors, our brothers and sisters. Thank you very much indeed. Do I get the Cs? I had been asked to invite the Cs. Sure. Thank you, PS, for reminding me. Members, honorable members of county assemblies from counties that are not Busia, you could kindly stand for recognition. Thank you very much, and you're welcome to Busia. May I now invite my former colleague, CS for Treasury, FCPA,
Thank you very much. Your Excellency, the Right Honorable Musalia, the Prime Cabinet Secretary of the Republic of Kenya, Dr. Boniface Makoha, who is my Principal Secretary of the State Department of Economic Planning. On behalf of the Governor, Busia County, I want to recognize also my brother, former colleague in Parliament, Arthur Odera. Dr. Boniface Makoha, who is my Principal Secretary of the State Department of Economic Planning. On behalf of the Governor, Busia County, I want to recognize also my brother, former colleague in Parliament, Arthur Odera. From across the country, the leadership of Ngao, thank you very much. Other distinguished leaders or guests, ladies and some remarks, but allow me, Your Excellency, first to help my peers who has spoken to this matter, to put into context why we are here. Recently, I see this country, the times that I can clearly recognize that planning at the center of our economic affairs was one during Kenyatta 1 presidency, when Tom Mboya was the Minister for Economic Planning. We had Minister for Economic Planning, and also when we working for Paranya in that ministry. Times, economic planning has been a footnote. Even during my we deliberately took steps with my new peers to make sure that we economic planning as an integral agenda in the management of our finances. And so what are we trying to cure with this conference? What we are trying to cure is four things that we are targeting. Today, the planning is disjointed and fragmented. We have the national government them also doing their planning. Yet, we share vision as a country. We have one focus. We have Vision 2030. We have medium-term plan, which is the fourth one now, and the final one to the end of Vision 2030. We have bottom economic transformation agenda. Yet the CIDPs probably is not speaking or are not speaking to these plans. So we want to correct the planning to plan both at the national and the county levels. The second thing we are trying to address is to have evidence-based budgeting. You cannot have evidence-based budgeting if you don't have a plan that is measurable, a plan that is clear, a plan that is accurate. The third thing is all these require data. We must train our officers in data capture and data usage. The PS was talking about. And finally, monitoring and evaluation. To spend can only have value if we are able to monitor this process, to engage with the county government officials. We are going to work with the county planners and policymakers, people from the offices of governors who are going to be identified. We are going to deal with the chairs of county assemblies who are responsible for finance. To development. I should give that overview, but let me now allow me to quick speech. Ladies and gentlemen, Article 43 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010 can be said that it outlines the social contract that the government has with the people. The realization of this contract requires only the prudent management of our public resources, but systematic, well thought out guides our scarce and precious resources. This is why, ladies and gentlemen, it is a privilege for me today to address you as we launch this vital capacity building program. As the Cabinet Secretary for the National Treasury, I am here today to outline a critical pillar of our national economic strategy, that is, the imperative to strategically and collaboratively finance our development, particularly our infrastructure, even in the reality we face of constrained public finances. The national government, and indeed our 47 county governments, can no longer act as the sole financiers and providers of the infrastructure programs and projects our nation desperately needs. This demands a policy shift. We are therefore decisively transitioning from a model of public sector dominance to one of strategic facilitation and enhanced private sector involvement. This is not an option, it is a necessity. With rapid urban growth and evident financial constraints, we must embrace alternative strategies with urgency. Infrastructure provision must now be a shared responsibility, a genuine partnership between the public and the private sectors. However, a consistent challenge in forging this partnership has been the lack of standardized conditions across our counties, which creates uncertainty and impedes the mobilization of project financing. To address this, we, the National Treasury, through our Able State Department for Economic Planning, are proposing concrete measures to enhance our system. This includes integrating an efficient, standardized negotiation framework into the planning approval process and actively diversifying our infrastructure delivery methods. Ladies and gentlemen, we are championing win-win public-private partnership models, such as build, operate and transfer, and private finance initiatives, alongside innovative solutions like securitization. A key factor or driver of these innovative approaches is the need for clarity of purpose, even in the face of our diversity. The goal of our proposed integrated planning approval system is to create a more predictable, transparent, and equitable framework for infrastructure cost distribution. This clarity will attract private actors. The role of the private sector is no longer supplementary. It is central to enhancing efficiency, accelerating delivery, improving standards. Our key proposed solutions are clear. We must leverage the planning framework to enable the recuperation of cost from direct beneficiaries where appropriate. We need to work with county governments to seriously consider privatization schemes that bring both financial relief and operational efficiency, and we must insist on pricing policies that reflect the full life cycle cost of infrastructure, including environmental impacts. This approach is not just about building roads and water systems. It is situated within a much larger continental context. Africa's immense potential is at serious risk because of near-term challenges that climate change will make more severe. We have the youngest and fastest growing population in the world, which is a driver of growth, but also a significant political and economic pressure if we fail to create opportunities. And I think you will agree with me that what we witnessed last year is a clear testimony to what I'm speaking about regarding our youthful and very impatient population. Our entrepreneurial ecosystem and the power of digitization offer pathways to innovation and sustainable development. Agency to tackle deep-seated vulnerability and inequality. The current international financial system is failing our continent. Private capital remains inaccessible for transformative projects. Our domestic financial markets are underdeveloped, and sovereign debt levels are unsustainable for many countries. In response, our strategy over the medium term is to deploy catalytic intervention that responds to these challenges by accelerating private investment. We have identified key tools and focus areas to achieve this. We will leverage demonstration transactions to prove viability and use de-risking instruments like blended finance and guarantees to attract commercial capital. We are focused on developing targeted investment vehicles such as green bonds, climate funds, and SME funds to channel capital effectively. Guests of honor, sir, our strategic interventions are focused on 6 key areas that present the greatest opportunity for an unlock in investment. One is energy transition as a major capital unlock for a large-scale private investment. The second one is adaptation finance to build viable business models and reduce reliance on scarce public funds. Number 3, finance for small and growing businesses to create jobs and stimulate innovation. Number 4, sustainable debt management. This will help us to address sovereign debt distress and the high cost of capital. Number 5, developing carbon markets to build new sustainable revenue models for our nation. And lastly, mainstreaming gender and youth empowerment with a specific focus on climate finance. On implementation, we are enhancing our capacities. We will create specialized centers of expertise to entire endeavor. We are elevating our risk and internal audit functions to ensure rigorous. The ultimate impact we seek is threefold. First, a financial system that is fit for purpose for Kenya and Africa at large, capable of overcoming the risks and inequalities that threaten our sustainability. Second, enhance economic resilience to protect our economies from external shocks. And third, tangible environmental benefits by safeguarding our ecosystems and promoting nature-positive solutions. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the comprehensive framework within which this capacity building program sits. The skills you acquire here in integrated planning, evidence-based analysis, and nuances of innovative financing are the very skills needed to operationalize this vision at the county level. Your success is creating a stable, predictable, and attractive investment environment in your countries is fundamental to our national for a new of cooperation. Let us work together to build a Kenya where strategic public investment unlocks massive private capital, where country cohesive national vision, and where our collective action builds infrastructure that will power our prosperity for generations to come. As I conclude, Your Excellency, I want to say that I'm very glad that we have this kind of audit, those middle income implemented possibly get opportunity to meet with members of county assemblies just to hear is that not correct? That is I don't want to so allow me, because Senator Faveiga is here, who also happens to double as deputy party leader of my party. You know, I resigned, Your Excellency. I'm like you, who left ODM. I resigned from being chairman of ODM, but I'm still there. is just there as a member, so he's now my boss in the party. I'm told Senator is representing the Speaker of the Senate, Amason Kingi. So kindly come forward, give your remarks, and then I will now ask you not to call me again, just to invite the chief guest to save time. Thank you very much. Karibu Senator Osotsi. Hapa kuna makofi. Asanteni sana. Thank you very much. Karibu Senator.
Thank you very much. My name is Godfrey Osotsi. I am the Senator of Vihiga County. I'm here to represent the Speaker of the Senate, who is committed here in Busia. As you are aware, we are doing our Senate Mashinani in Busia, and it's quite a lot for the Speaker. So he asked me to come and present his speech, because the planning docket happens to be one of my key roles as the chair of County Public Investments and Special Funds. So I will go straight to the speech of the Speaker. Honorable Wycliffe Musalia Mudavadi, EGH, the Prime Cabinet Secretary. Honorable John Badi Ngongo, the EGH Cabinet Secretary and National Treasury. Honorable Ahmed Abdullahi, EGH Chairperson, Council of Governors. Honorable Paulo Tuoma, who is represented here by the Deputy Governor, Busia. Governors, members of the National Assembly. I have seen Honorable Emase, Honorable Mulanya, Honorable Anjala, Oku Kaunya is here, and Catherine Omanyo. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I bring to you warm greetings from the Senate of the Republic of Kenya, currently stationed here in Busia County for its week-long plenary and committee sittings. This initiative, the Senate Mashinani, is undertaken in line with Article 126 of the Constitution of Kenya, which allow either House of Parliament to convene its sittings in any part of the country at any time the House may appoint. For the Senate, this is a bold statement of our commitment to devolution, which prioritizes robust engagement with the citizens to know how they live, what their needs are, and get feedback that informs government action on service delivery. Ladies and gentlemen, the capacity building program we are launching this morning represents a significant stride towards fortifying the pillars of devolution in our country. It provides to assess our economic planning architecture and its efficacy in maximizing development impact through the aligned and efficient use of resources across both levels of government. This initiative is a direct response to the county level, which is fundamental for coherent planning, effective service delivery, and the realization of transformative agenda envisaged in the Constitution. Ladies and gentlemen, the Constitution of the Senate is unambiguous and clearly detailed in Article 96 of the Constitution of Kenya. The primary role of the Senate is to represent the counties and to protect their interests and governments. As a key custodian of the dream, the Senate has consistently worked as a strategic partner, engaging with the Cabinet Secretaries, the Intergovernmental Relations Technical Committee, IGRTC, the Council of Governors, the County Assembly Forum, to ensure the promise of devolution is not merely an ideal, but a tangible reality in the lives of wananchi. This program aligns perfectly with our constitutional mandate of seeking to empower county government, which are very entities the Senate is sworn to protect and strengthen. Ladies and gentlemen, the objective of this program, namely to enhance competencies in constitutional and legal framework, build capacities in evidence-based analysis and medium-term expenditure framework, and promote participatory planning that mainstreams gender, youth, and climate change are not just commendable, they are essential for the maturation of our devolved system. However, for this training to yield full potential, we must be candid about persistent systemic challenges that threaten to undermine its goals. I wish to highlight several critical areas that demand our urgent and collective attention, and which I hope be thoroughly addressed during your deliberation. First is the unfinished business of transfer of functions and resources. The fourth schedule of the Constitution provides a clear functional assignment between the national and county government, while the IGRTC work in facilitating this process, a significant anomaly persists. Key devolved functions, particularly in agriculture, health, and water, remain heavily funded and controlled by the national ministries. This creates parallel structures, leads to accountability confusion, and fundamentally undermines the autonomy of counties, therefore frustrating integrated planning and service delivery. The Senate Committee on Devolution and Intergovernmental Relations is actively working with the IGRTC to ensure that accurately costed and transferred with the requisite resources. This transfer with the accompanying funding is a fundamental prerequisite Secondly, the specter of pending bills continues to haunt our counties, threatening their financial sustainability and crippling small and medium enterprises that depend on county government for survival. This issue not only undermines the business environment but also erodes public trust in devolved governance. The Senate, through our powerful committees on public accounts and county public investment and special funds, chaired by Senator Moses Kajwang of Homa Bay and Senator Godfrey Osotsi, in collaboration with the National Treasury, the Controller of Budget, and the Auditor General. We urge all governors these pending bills is not just an accounting exercise. It is a moral and economic imperative to restore faith in devolution, stimulate local economies, and ensure that service delivery is not interrupted by financial mismanagement. Thirdly, we must confront the recurring boundary disputes that have in some regrettable instances escalated into violent conflicts between communities that neighbor each other in our counties. These disputes, often rooted in historical land issues, resource competition, and ethnic rivalry, destabilize regions and divert precious energy and resources from development activities. I am glad to note that the Parliament Senate has passed the County Boundaries Bill, Senate Bill number 6 of 2023, to provide a lasting legislative solution to the boundary disputes. This bill seeks to give full effect to Article 188 of the Constitution by establishing an independent county boundary commission. It further aims to define county boundaries clearly and provides a structured legal procedure for the resolution of disputes through the establishment of an ad hoc mediation committees. As we consider the bill, I urge the IGRTC and all stakeholders to support this legislative effort and to establish robust alternative dispute resolution mechanism to complement it, ensuring current disputes are mediated effectively. Fourthly, we must build and sustain a culture of tolerance, collaboration, mutual respect, and appreciation between county executive and county assemblies. You will agree with me that within the devolution landscape, the matter of impeachment of governors and many repeated attempts thereof, the elephant in the room. The situation and for devolution. It is a fact that whenever the Senate is called upon to arbitrate, and irrespectively of the decision it renders, there is always an aggrieved party that feels that justice has not been served. The Senate, however, remains diligent in the discharge of its mandate and disputes before they escalate. Ladies and gentlemen, beyond addressing the immediate challenge highlighted above, we must also build a more proactive, cohesive, and predictable framework for the future of intergovernmental relations. To this end, the Senate, through the Committee on Devolution and Intergovernmental Relations, is currently engaged in a comprehensive review of the Intergovernmental Relations Act 2012. The proposed amendments are designed to strengthen the institutional structures, clarify the distinctive roles of the Intergovernmental Relations Technical Committee, will get better services and support the devolution dream. Thank you very much. Waziri has asked me to usher in the PCS. I don't know whether I'm the right person to do that, but let me do it because the PCS is not just a friend, but is my constituent. As you know, the PCS comes from Vihiga County, is our leading son in Vihiga County, and we are proud of him. So let me ask the Prime Cabinet Secretary, Dr. Musalia Mudavadi, to come and address us. Simupige makofi bwana. Asante sana.
Thank you. Yeah, please be seated. My friend Godfrey Usozi didn't want to say that I was one time his party leader. But it is true, I'm his constituent in Vihiga County. My dear brother, FCPA, John Bandi Ngongo, the Cabinet Secretary, the National Treasury and Economic Planning, the leaders of Parliament who are present here today, the Governor Paul Nyongesa, represented by his deputy, the Honorable Arthur, all members of the county, many other counties represented in this room. And if I may just request the ones who are not from Busia, if you could just stand so that we acknowledge you properly. Thank you. Thank you. So distinguished representatives of development partners, the Ngao team, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I'm delighted to be here with you to officially launch the capacity building program for county governments on economic planning and strengthening national county integration mechanisms. The rich diversity of stakeholders represented in this forum, who include the government and county officials, development partners, civil society, and potential beneficiaries of the program, reflects commitment by His Excellency President William Ruto and the Kenya Kwanza administration to deepening synergies between the national and county governments to foster Kenya's socio-economic prosperity. Further, it advances sustainable development while promoting responsible management of our natural resources and ecosystems. Building a seamless, collaborative, and effective planning system is critical to bridging the national government's priorities with the dynamic engines of growth across our 47 counties. This is the spirit that brings us together to strengthen the foundations of inclusive and resilient growth for all Kenyans. The implementation of this program will strengthen our grassroots support to the people and enhance our capacity to navigate the challenges our economy is experiencing from domestic and external factors. It is the bedrock of effective policy making and implementation, specifically designed to ensure that county integrated development plans are dynamic, living blueprints, fully aligned and synchronized with national priorities. anchored on the bottom-up economic transformation agenda better, and the fourth medium-term plan, and our long-term Kenya Vision 2030. We recognize that closing the gap between policy design and effective implementation of our priority development programs requires deliberate and sustained effort across three key areas, all of which are central objectives of this capacity building program. The first is immediate intervention in technical capacity enhancement. This is needed to address weaknesses in our devolution framework arising from historical disparities in planning, budgeting, and project management competencies. This program therefore aims to equip county officers with modern skills required for evidence-based planning, robust economic forecasting, and effective application of MTEF. Key outcomes of such intervention include better project identification, effective implementation, prudent fiscal management, and a more attractive environment for domestic and international investment. The second is that we urgently need to strengthen our monitoring and evaluation, learning and reporting systems. We cannot effectively manage what we do not diligently measure. To this end, the national government is making significant investments in integrated digital platforms to enhance the quality, timeliness, and accessibility of data for decision making. These platforms will facilitate real-time monitoring, evaluation, learning, and reporting, allowing both levels of government to track progress against targets, identify bottlenecks early, and make necessary adjustments to ensure that public funds deliver tangible and visible results for our citizens. This data-driven approach will foster greater accountability and transparency at all levels of government. Third, deepening collaboration. Guided by the Intergovernmental Relations Act, will enable us to harmonize regulations, simplify business processes, and systematically eliminate internal bureaucracy barriers that hinder economic integration and free movement of goods and services and people within Kenya. Together with the National Treasury and Economic Planning, my office is fully committed to establishing and sustaining structured, continuous, and outcome-oriented dialogue with the Council of Governors. Through this program, you have a great opportunity to champion a new era of integrated and transformative planning. I encourage you to focus your renewed efforts on three strategic priorities. First, invest in our people with a special focus on the most vulnerable. People-centered investments in quality healthcare, relevant education, and practical vocational training will advance our human capital and labor productivity. This is in line with the recommendations of the International Labour Organization 2024 report, which strongly emphasizes investing in social protection as a vital economic stabilizer that protects households during downturns and creates a foundation for a more productive and secure society. Second, foster productive transformation within your counties and across your regional economic blocks. This will enable us to collectively move beyond the export of raw materials and primary commodities. Your planning processes should actively identify priority value chains based on the comparative advantage structures to attract investments that foster value addition, create sustainable jobs, and increase local wealth creation and retention. This is core to positioning our rural economies to contribute to Kenya's industrialization journey. Third, Embrace climate smart planning. Integrate climate planning action and resilience into every aspect of your county planning, from agriculture and water management to urban development. Sustainable agriculture, renewable energy, and green urban development strategies will enable us to build a green economy, which is an essential prerequisite for our economic resilience and long-term survival. Let me assure you of the government's commitment to a stronger dynamic partnership with the county governments. As key stakeholders, we are taking a vital step, renewing our commitment to work together in this transformation journey for a more prosperous Kenya. Let us envision Kenya where the national and county governments clasp hands in unbreakable unity, marching forward as one indomitable force in service to the great people of our republic. We look forward to a future of turning the dreams of our youth into realities, the labors of our farmers into abundance, the innovations of our entrepreneurs into global triumphs, and where every citizen in every village and every town will experience measurable dividends from the implementation of better priorities at national and devolved levels. My dear brothers and sisters, let me just take an extra 3 or so minutes to flag a couple of things. First, I just want to perhaps emphasize something that is not so apparent and it may have been missed out. One, as I commend my brother Mbandi at the Treasury, there are some things that perhaps are not well appreciated. I can stand here confidently and say that the national government has really stepped up in remitting the money to county governments. Right now, it's only September that is pending. So, my dear brother, the Senator, as you blame the county government and as you blame us, please give us accolades where it has been done well. And Mbandi has been very forthright in ensuring that the long protracted delays of remittances of the shared revenue does not recur. So we want to commend the National Treasury and everybody who is involved so that this is hastened. And I'm sure the September portion will be released, he says, in fact, next week, which is a very good sign. The other thing I want to point out very quickly is that the true strength of devolution or a county will actually manifest the day our counties will be raising more from their own source revenue than that which they expect from the national. That is where the true independence of the counties will come from. Why have I picked on that point? I've picked on that point because I would like to draw your attention, not just here in Busia, not just here in Western Kenya, but nationally. The truth of the matter is this: several counties have abandoned working on their own source revenues and are becoming totally dependent on the national share. So who is undermining the independence of counties? Is it the national government, or is it those who are in counties but they have decided to slacken on their own source aspect? And the data is there with the Commission of Revenue Allocation. Please go and look at it. It's a public document. you will realize that the percentage of on-source revenue that is there in some instances has become less than what used to be collected when there were councils. And I speak because I've also served as a Minister for Local Government. I've had the benefit of serving as Minister for Finance. And I'm telling you that the reality ought to be addressed. Otherwise, you are going to be dependent on the national government. And let us face it, it will reach a stage where he who pays the piper calls the tune. So if county governments want to have that, please pull up your socks. And I'm not speaking only to Western Kenya, I'm speaking across the board to the 47 counties in our country. Let us do something about it. Let me pick up another very important issue. The issue of data. You know, in terminology, we always talk about data mining for those who are in the computing world and so forth. You mine what is valuable. Go and mine what is worthless. Now, as a politician, people sometimes say, oh, now hakuna haja ya ngao. Wengine wanasema hakuna haja ya hawa jamaa siku hizi. You have to find your space and your own relevance. People will take you seriously when they know you have something of value. My dear chiefs, assistant chiefs, my provincial, my Ngao team here, you can turn yourself into a mega resource by just ensuring that you are a primary source of data, credible data, hygienic data. And I'm telling you, everybody will be looking for you again. And the political clarion that says, we can do away with these people, they'll start saying, no. This is a data center. Ngao has turned into a data center. Convert yourself into data centers with valuable information that can help us plan. This is where your relevance is going to be anchored. Hapana kirauni, but data, I can assure you. This is where your strength is going to be. So work on it. We want to woo investors. Please, as counties in this planning, make sure your records are accurate. Make sure your land tenure systems are accurate and up to date. What is the lead time between an investor who wants to set up a factory and the time you give him clearances and everything so that he can set up the factory? Does it take you 3 years? Does it take you 5 years? Does it take you 3 months? It depends. It varies from county to county. So we must figure out what are we doing ourselves to provide the right environment that will act as a magnet for investors who want to come to our respective counties. Work hard on that in this process. At the same time, don't be hostile to investors. Don't be hostile. When we were in Homa Bay during the devolution, I gave an example of one county where the investor was a victim of local politics. The people down there kwa mambo yao wakaleta siasa yao, wakaenda wakachoma hoteli ya huyo mwekezaji, akawapeleka kotini, akashinda, They couldn't pay, they are not able to pay, but they created a national crisis because now huyu rafiki yangu Mbandi is left with a bill to pay the French investor who was destroyed and chased away by very petty local politics, to the extent that it has become a national issue between the government of Kenya and the government of France. Please treat your investors with dignity, obey the law, follow the law, and that will help and make your county attractive. Lakini tukiwa watu kama wanasiasa zingine wanasema pana, unakata tu, unapita tu, pita. Wacha kupita na mtu namna hiyo. Let us attract investment. I want to support what Arthur said. Let us leverage your location. Migori up to leverage that, and I think there's some truth that we need to look at the whole model of counties that sit next to our trading partners, because Uganda is our largest trading partner, but Busia, Migori, Bungoma, going all the way, the ones that border, actually benefit least the revenues that emerge from that partnership with our neighboring countries. Let's see how these very good people who bought give anybody behind. Let us work towards moving quicker with technology. Principal Secretary, my Cabinet Secretary colleague Mbandi, he was telling me that when he is pushing the agenda of e-procurement, you know, we are talking of, we want to close corruption holes, we want to close mismanagement, we want to close pilferage. How can we continue if we are not embracing technology? We have to find our way into this new digital world. And I want to tell you that some counties are moving. Believe you me, even Samburu has already moved and embraced the e-procurement, and their systems have started. So it's not about certain things, it's about, do we want to embrace or not? I don't want to ask questions about Busia, Kakamega, Bungoma, Vihiga, but Busia is doing well. I hope Bwana PS Makoha, perhaps, na msitoroke, unajua hii ni program yenu. Tukiondoka na Mbandi, tafadhali msiende, kwa sababu the training is supposed to be for you. And the minister has planned it so that it will run for a week in all these counties. This program is going to be, so it's very important. Remain behind. Perhaps you can also give some data, some information on which counties are doing well on moving forward with e-procurement and which ones are not. This is a peer review for platform also, so that you review each other, you compare what your others are doing, so that we can all know whether we are sitting well or not. So these are some of my few comments. Finally, Najua, you are very proud of Ososi, which is okay. You know, Ososi walked away from me in ANC, but he's a good man anyway. But in the process, let me also take the opportunity to also say my vice chair of UDA nationally, Kevin Dunani, is here. Na mimi nijigambe tu kidogo. Asante. But as we conclude, please let us work together. Let us pull together. The Minister for Treasury, for Finance is doing a very good job. Right now, I know he's in the deep end of a swimming pool. He's negotiating for us with the International Monetary Fund so that we can enter into a new program. And that is a very, very vital national assignment, because at the end of the day, it is that kind of collaboration with international entities of that nature that we are able to affirm confidence in our economy and in the management of our economy, and therefore attract more investment and create more opportunities for our people wherever they are. So it's a good moment for us. I also want to recognize Mzee Oyula. You know, at one time I used to say that Busia used to have two AGs. We used to have Attorney General Amos Wako, and we used to have Accountant General Oyula. So there were two AGs from Busia County. Most of you seem to only remember Amos Wako, but this man was the AG for the country as the Accountant General. In simple language, he was literally what you used to call the Paymaster General, Republic of Kenya. So you have an asset in that Mzee there. Hii Busia sio county ya kwenda tu hivi hivi. Lazima ujipange. Si namna hiyo? Ama namna gani Wanjala? Kabisa. Asante sana. So please excuse us after we just unveil this. I and Bandi, it's true. He's going for his assignment with the president, and I'm sure it's linked to what I've told you. Your mambo ya IMF na nini. I'm going for COMESA because at the end of this week, the president is chairing the COMESA summit, and he's poised to become the chairman of COMESA for the next 10 years. So asanteni sana, and this program is officially inaugurated and launched. Asante sana.
Tumpigie makofi. Ninapoomba sasa waziri, tafadhali ujiunge na PCS kwenye jukwaa tunapofanya uzinduzi rasmi. Karibu PS. Tungependa tufanye uzinduzi rasmi, and we are going to do it now on the count of 3, 2. Gavana pia anaitwa, ndio naomba nishikilie kidogo. Nafikiri pia Ososi unaweza kuja. Speaker ameitwa na MCS wake na kao nampenda sana. Probably, Your Excellency, one representative from National Assembly. Songa mbele tafadhali. Tupige makofi. There we go. Sasa kusimama tukiangalia Bwana PCS anamkabidhi waziri. Let's have the first book. Waziri akabidhiwe, kiko hapa, ndio hicho. Yes. Simama nacho tafadhali, simama nacho waziri, simama na kitabu. Kitabu cha tatu kitakwenda kwa Deputy Governor wa Busia. Na bwana PS, naomba pia uwe na kitabu chako. And then the rest kindly move kidogo so that we get a photo here. Your Excellency, we request a photo session here. Here at the center. Karibu pande huu, Your Excellency. Vitabu ni vingi. The PCS is generous enough to give to any aspect. It's okay, I think that's enough. Hold your books and come here for a photo session, kindly. Let's do a photo session here. A straight line. Wapi makofi, vitabu vinapendeza kweli kweli. Thank you. Now I request everyone else to fall out except the CS and the PS to flank the PCS for one more photo as we finish. Thank you very much. We can stage with the PCS for the national anthem. The rest of us, kindly let us be upstanding. But just for the